Ah, there it goes. Hey, I'm doing a check-in for Amadeus of Gaul. Again, I just want to kind of note this as where I think maybe kind of being sometimes when you're saying like, oh, we draw a veil over something is to make it even more dirty than it might actually be. Um, we get Amadeus, not Amadeus of Gaul, Gaylor, who is his Amadeus's younger brother of this knightly chivalric romance tale. And Gaylor battles he's looking for some place to get healed, meets a really disrespectful rotten squire who says like, oh, I know a place, but I'm not going to take someone like you. And he basically forces the guy to take him there, at which point he gets attacked by everyone and they all try and kill him. And he's like, I'm just trying to get healed. And he ends up killing everybody in the thing, including the lord of the castle. And he's about to leave when he hears someone cry out, and it's this lady who is chained, who's chained by the neck to a wall. And it's like, it turns out that basically this guy took her when and just refused to be take him as her husband. He breaks her free because she says, oh, I'll heal you. They do heal. And then they have this line, that night they lodged in a forest in the tent of some hunters whom they found. The damsel was a fair damsel, and what passed between them is not to be written. Which is like, it's like, it'd be much more like, okay, and they made out, or, they had sex or something like that. But it's not to be written is like, okay, well then obviously, at least my dirty brain is just filling it in with all these things, which is probably was like, they probably read poetry to each other or something like that, and maybe had a brief kiss. But my brain is filling in all this other stuff, which is one of these things of like, it's not to be written, but we're going to mention that they spent the night together, but we're not going to talk about it. It's just a way of saying like, wow, it must have been really hot and awesome. Which is one of those things with is it the artist being prudish, or is like, if the artist was actually prudish, they just say, and they stayed with some hunters, and then the next morning they did this, versus, and what passed between them shall not be written because it was just so hot. Is kind of a funny thing in this 1400s work, which is a little bit more, I guess, on the prudish side, but it's that prudish side, like a naughty comedies like of the 80s, where they were a lot more kind of foul and terrible because they would allude to stuff than like, in the PG-13 way was, I always found way more dirty than, rated R stuff where, oh yeah, there's some nudity. Okay, next scene. It's like, or the television edits. Television edits are just like terrifying in stuff like this. So yeah, just these things of like dealing with censors, how you can dodge around them, how you can make things, how sometimes censorship can just make things even more forbidden and hot than they would be otherwise. So yeah, that is my check-in with Amadeus of Gaul. That is a little section in chapter 16 of how Amadeus made himself known to King Lusart and the other knights in his court, which also has just a little side adventure of his younger brother Gaylor. I think it's Gaylor. That's how I've decided to pronounce it. It's was it Galaor? Gaylor? Gaylor? I guess it could be Galor, but Gaylor. I like Gaylor better, so I've decided. In my super amateurish pronunciation guides of stuff. All right, more videos later.